David Gravel sweeps and looks set for another big season. Where did the Ford engine go in the Rudeen sprint car? And SSI makes their crew chief hire official. Let's go. It's Tuesday, March 4th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Before we dive into everything today, a quick word from today's show sponsor. Are you ready to be part of something bigger, a team that's built to win? Second Law Motorsports is looking for passionate, skilled professionals to join them on the road to victory. They've made their mark in a short time, winning races across multiple disciplines, but they're just getting started. Now they need dedicated team members to help take them to the next level. Current positions available include crew chief to lead the charge, make the calls, and steer them to victory, car chief to keep their machines dialed in and race ready, tire specialist, speed, grip, and precision start with you, and truck driver, no CDL, no problem, get them to the track and in the fight. At Second Law Motorsports, this isn't just a team, it's a family, built on passion, grit, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. If you've got the drive, the skills, and the hunger to win, now's your shot. They're looking for hardworking, motivated individuals who want to be part of something special. Together, they'll dominate on the track and inspire off of it. If you think you've got what it takes, the track is calling. Join Second Law Motorsports today. You can apply now at secondlawmotorsports.com/join the team. That's secondlawmotorsports.com/join the team. Second Law Motorsports, winning is just the beginning. World of Outlaws sprint car action at Volusia Speedway Park wrapped up last night with the second of two shows around Daytona Bike Week. David Gravel, your winner again, but he didn't just get out front and set sail like he did on Monday. He actually started third, dropped back a bit at the start, then picked his way back to the front, taking the lead from pole sitter Gio Scelzi on lap 15. Logan Schuchart, fast again. He went 6th to 2nd, and Scelzi ended up 3rd. It was a much-needed podium result for Scelzi and the KCP 18 after a tough Dirt Car Nationals. The bad thing for those guys is, after just 6 races, they're already 128 points behind Gravel out front. Scelzi hadn't been on an Outlaw podium since Bakersfield last September. There was a span of 17 races in between. As for Logan Schuchart, it's really a shame he ran out of fuel late on Monday night, because if he hadn't, he'd actually probably be about 20 points closer to Gravel there in second in the standings. He and that 1S machine looking like a different team than we saw in 2024. Hopefully new crew chief Kyle Pruitt can keep him going in the right direction. Jacob Allen had another top 5 run last night. Obviously, he's got least offer on the wrenches, and then a nice recovery drive for Chris Windham. He went 22nd to 10th in the sides car for Hard Charger. Back to Gravel, though. He and Cody Jacobs, they're just at the peak of their powers right now. And I know that's everybody always calls Gravel the golden boy now since Brad Sweet's gone. And it's, there's going to be a lot of complaining this year about Gravel winning. But through this opening stretch, 6 Volusia races, 2 wins, 5 podiums, 6 top 5s. They're riding a 17-race top 10 streak at the moment, which is effectively the longest active streak of any driver with a major dirt racing series. Outside of when Kyle Larson and Paul Silva pull into a pit area, Gravel is going to be the favorite at a lot of races this year. 16 wins and an Outlaw title season to go, and absolutely zero signs of slowing down. And Jacobs clearly rising up into the group of top crew chiefs in sprint car racing. I know there's been some pissing and moaning about 6 straight races to start the season at Volusia, but I thought we saw some good racing last night. I also don't know where else you can race in late February or early March and have any hope of the weather cooperating on a consistent basis. I will say it's tough to get a sense of where everyone is right now because of 6 races at one track. I feel like we have a decent idea of the pecking order, but it's tough to say anything definitive until we get some other racetracks kind of going and racing at. Headed next to the Talladega Short Track and Magnolia Motor Speedway, Gravel leads Schuchart by 44 points. Carson Macedo 46 back in 3rd. Donnie Schatz, Buddy Kofoid effectively tied for 4th. Both of them are 82 back. The Outlaws back in action Friday and Saturday later this week. I do want to mention one technical thing I and several others noticed the last 2 nights at Volusia, and that was the Rudeen 26 of Justin Peck not running the Ford 410 sprint car engine. Peck swept the 3 nights of 360 ASCS action at Volusia back in January, but there isn't really a Ford 360, so those wins were with another builder. He did run the Ford, as far as I can tell by images, at Dirt Car Nationals. Some solid runs in February. He made the feature all 4 nights, finished top 10 in 3 of them. Sunday night and Monday night, though, no Ford. A traditional Chevy base 410 under the hood of the Rudeen car. And if you want to know how to spot this, look at the headers on the car. The left photo here is Peck at World Finals with the Ford. The right is the car yesterday. That was a World of Outlaws photo, but very clear difference between the two sets of headers, and that's kind of how you can spot the difference. The Ford and the Chevy base 410s using very different configurations. That Chevy base 410 didn't seem to pay dividends on night one with the 26 missing the feature. And then last night they started 14th in the main event, but got caught up in a crash and DNF. So it's tough to judge where they were last night, although qualifying wasn't much better than night one. 6-4 in the heat did put him in the show. It's been my understanding that since Rudeen switched to the Ford, they were getting the same pieces as Tony Stewart Racing and not the Ford customer version available through Shaver that Chase Briscoe's car had in 2024. Ron Shaver himself admitting in an interview last year that the TSR version and the customer version were different. It's possible the Rudeen team wanted to do some experimenting in advance of the high limit season starting, and you could get a decent kind of back-to-back comparison between the two Volusia events. If they do eventually, though, go away from the Ford 410, it would leave the TSR 15 as the lone Ford-powered sprint car. This might be a story to watch moving forward for this group. An interesting stat note for you. I just said David Gravel has the longest top 10 streak in the country, but there is a bit of a caveat. At the moment, my streaker stat that is available with a DIRTRACKR Plus subscription shows Devin Moran with 32 straight Lucas top 10s. What's a bit odd, though, is that February 5th race at Ocala, that was a non-points night. Moran finished third in his heat race, but then scratched for the remainder of the night after engine issues. He would have started in the top 10 in that main event and could have picked up a 33rd top 10 that night. So does that not count as the 32 race top 10 streak? I'll let you be the judge. Either way, Moran has been incredible lately. His last Lucas finish outside the top 10 was a 17th in a Firecracker 100 prelim. That was way back in June last year. In dirt late model news, SSI Motorsports officially announced Jason Durham as their new crew chief yesterday, which we told you was coming back on the Sunday Daily Show. I obviously didn't explicitly say it was Hudson O'Neal, but there were some hints in my show, and I had a new deal on the thumbnail. But I probably am not going to tease things anymore. I'm just going to come out and say next time that it was Hudson O'Neal. Durham had been partnered up with Stormy Scott, which included serving as his crew chief and also partner in the Category 5 race cars brand. Scott, though, in recent days announced his return full-time to Modified Action, where he'll drive cars built by Kate Dillard. As we talked about a few days ago, Stormy's release mentioned current Category 5 customers can still get support from Durham out of his Kentucky-based shop. But some industry friends have told me the future of Category 5 very seriously in doubt. Over the last few days, I did reach out to SSI O'Neal, his representation, did that through various channels for comment on the Durham move, but as they say, I was ghosted. Dirt on Dirt and Flow Racing's Kyle McFadden suffering a very similar fate, according to his story, so nice to see I'm not the only one who gets ignored. O'Neal, who was the 2023 Lucas champion, had an up and down speed weeks, which included 3 Lucas finishes of 16th or worse, but also 6 top 10s, and they had a best run of second at Ocala in the SSI car. They're currently 8th in the Lucas standings and 200 points behind Jonathan Davenport. O'Neal also had a dominating win at Needmore and Hunt the Front Action, but that was driving for Kevin Rumley. And at Volusia during Dirt Car Nationals, O'Neal missed the feature all 3 Outlaw nights. Durham replaces Nick Hardy as O'Neal's crew chief at SSI, and I was told Hardy was actually spotted elsewhere this past weekend. Hardy had been with O'Neal since he started his own deal last year, and then followed him to SSI. When Anthony Burrows departed SSI at season's end to take the crew chief gig with Brandon Overton at Riggs Motorsports with the Longhorn Factory team, Hardy was then elevated to that crew chief spot. Now, though, he's out after basically 2 months in the job. Durham's resume with Jonathan Davenport years ago included Crown Jewel wins and Lucas titles and Crew Chief of the Year awards. Things much quieter, though, with Stormy, just 3 late model wins in 2 seasons. That included a Summer Nationals score and a Northern All-Stars victory in 2023, and a Comp Cam Super Dirt win in 2024. Durham will bring a lot of experience and that kind of race-winning pedigree with him to SSI, but they haven't won a Lucas show with O'Neal since their opening stretch together, when O'Neal went back-to-back at Eagle and Shelby County like last summer. This group will be up against it, though, to try and battle back into Lucas Championship picture, especially during a season where the top of the series, it's ultra fast and it's ultra competitive. Lucas season doesn't get started again until March 21st at Atomic, but O'Neal's website does show them racing again March 14th and 15th at Smoky Mountain with the Outlaws. Well, we'll call it good right there for today. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.